You know something? I was a Perot man, and the crazier that little bastard got, the more I wanted to vote for him, all right? Yeah. Set the controls and steer for the center of the sun, you demented little Tolkien character with a gold card. I was ready to follow this Simon Bar sinister replicant right into the jaws of hell. Had that streamlined little tyrant skull that I just love in a despot. He looked like Sergeant Carter with all the moisture sucked out of his body. And he shot from the hip replacement. And you know something? That's what fucked him in the end. You can't talk like that in this country. They're not ready for that. You know they were going to paint him as a paranoid asshole. You just knew it was going to happen as soon as he started making sense like that. It's like the guy who invents the engine that runs on salt water. You know they're going to silk with his brake line within a week and a half. And how did we go after Ross Perot? In a really ugly way. We went after James Stockdale. Now, I know Stockdale has become a buzzword in this culture for a doddering old man, but let's look at the record, folks. This guy was the first guy in and the last guy out of Vietnam, a war that many Americans, including your new president, chose not to dirty his hands with. The reason he had to turn his hearing aid on at that debate is because those fucking animals knocked his eardrum out when he wouldn't spill his guts. He teaches philosophy at Stanford University. He's a brilliant, sensitive, courageous individual, and yet he committed, I don't want to turn it into a rally, but he committed the one unpardonable sin in our culture. He was bad on television, and Patty Chayefsky must be laughing his ass off out there, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. Could he have been our vice president? Of course he could have been our vice president. You think Al Gore's a charismatic visionary? His favorite film is Tron, for Christ's sake. And how hard could this job be? Look who did it for the last 4 years. Dan Quayle's head is emptier than a jack-in-the-box in downtown Seattle. He shouldn't have been second in command of the Hakawi tribe from F-Troop, much less the third most powerful nation on the face of this planet. He always had that freshly tasered Norma Desmond look on his face. His eyes are glazed over like band roll-on applicators. And this is not to say I won't miss Dan Quayle, because to me he was the Rosetta Stone of contemporary American comedy. But let's face facts. He deserved the vice presidency like Elvis deserved this black belt, all right? I always thought of Quayle was like Dan Tanner's assistant Binzer on the old Vegas show. You let him answer the phone, but he does not drive the T-Bird. And you know something? He's thinking of running for president 4 years, hence the day Dan Quayle's our president is the day Shelley Winters runs with the Bulls at Pamplona. Thank you. Good night. Bye.